a lot of strange events are happening. A lot of massive things are taking place. Case in point, all of this stuff happening currently with the Hantavirus is very bizarre. And one has to wonder if this is their next big thing that they have planned. One has to wonder, when you begin to research everything regarding this Hantavirus and everything surrounding it, stuff just seems really off, especially everything involving the cruise ship. It just all seems very bizarre. And again, to me, this seems like more of their fear propaganda. It really truly does. Everything surrounding this virus, it really seems like more fear propaganda. And it really feels as if we are watching a script repeat itself. It really does. It really seems like we are watching history repeat. But again, this is all about their chaos, their order out of chaos, and their fear. Because this is what these people want. They want to create as much fear as possible. And something else very odd is it seems like all of this stuff regarding the Hantavirus is taking the focus off of the missing or dead scientist, which is very interesting. But right here, as you see on screen, all the passengers showing symptoms of the Hantavirus have now been removed from the cruise ship. So again, all of this is very strange, and it really feels as if we are watching a script repeat itself. But as you see with this headline, U.S. health authorities downplay domestic Hantavirus threats. So again, I guess time will tell, but again, something really feels off about all of this. And I know I can't be the only one out there that finds this to be very bizarre, very strange, and very off. And again, I can only imagine what else these people have planned. Look at this right here. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention downplayed any threat to Americans from the Hantavirus as Americans aboard a ship with confirmed cases look to come home. Of course, they are going to downplay all of this. Of course. And look at this right here. 23 Hantavirus cruise passengers have returned home to all corners, including back to the United States, and one is already sick. So again, I don't know what's next, but honestly, this all just seems like more fear propaganda, in my honest opinion. To me, this seems like they are trying it. To me, this seems like this is setting the stage for a major event to take place. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen for sure. I'm not. But when you begin to research everything, something really seems off. And the fact that there was only one quote unquote passenger having a video out when he was on the cruise ship about all of this seems strange too. Why wasn't there more videos from different passengers on this ship? That's another question that people have really got to ask, because it seems to me as if this is a fear propaganda. But all we can do is do the best that we can to spread the truth and hopefully wake up as many people as possible. And shout out to this person on TikTok, Red. she breaks this down too regarding all of this stuff with this cruise ship and how bizarre all of this seems.
Something does not sit right to me about this whole cruise ship situation. How is it that we get one video from that passenger on board who was crying and seemed nervous, but it almost feels like he's reading something?
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
We're not just a story, we're not just headlines. Kind of almost looks like he's looking somewhere else as he's talking. And my question is, with 150 people on board and 3 confirmed people who have passed already from this virus, how is it that we're not getting more footage from other people from what's going on inside the ship? I don't know, this whole thing kind of seems off to me. I'm not saying anything for sure, but let me know what you guys think.
So again, something really seems off about all of this. And it really seems as if history is repeating itself because these people have planned this stuff well in advance. And something else very odd. The last time there was a major hantavirus outbreak in the United States was 33 years ago with 33 cases. You can't make that up if you tried. And we know how these people are obsessed with numbers. And if that's not all, now the hantavirus has reached Singapore.
Breaking news, Hantavirus has reached Singapore with 2 people suspected of having the deadly disease currently isolating while being tested by doctors. We'll bring you...
It's amazing how this virus started on this cruise ship, right? And now it's reached Singapore. So again, it really seems to me as if this could be a major event. And something else very strange is an old episode of The X-Files actually talked about the hantavirus and even alluded to aliens being involved in all of this. Obviously, as I've already stated on multiple different occasions, aliens are demons, but it's still very interesting, especially with everything currently happening regarding the talk of aliens and this hantavirus.
You know my work? I was right about Dallas, wasn't I?
How are you right?
Are you familiar with the hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
A plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting gooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
And it's very interesting that Gene Hackman, remember him? And his wife who passed away? Well, come to find out, and I really didn't even pay attention to this, his wife actually passed away due to the hantavirus back in 2025. And think about it, Gene Hackman. His name alone, Gene's hacked. I mean, come on. And if you actually look on The Economist magazine, the World Ahead 2026 edition of The Economist magazine, I mean, it's truth in plain sight. They are literally showing you all of this stuff kicking off. And this is even why they have this soccer player representing the World Cup kicking off. And it just is wild, all of the symbolism in this magazine cover. As speaking of the alien stuff and how the clip from the X-Files seems to tie into the Hantavirus and the alien stuff, is the fact that religious leaders have been told to prepare now for UFO disclosure to unleash Bible-changing revelations. Now, obviously, this is all a mass deception. Do not be deceived by any of this. This is all setting the stage for what's to come here in the near future. Because as I have stated, aliens are demons, are fallen angels, and people don't need to be deceived by any of this stuff, because God's word is true. God is true, and every man is a liar. And I am trusting God Almighty. And honestly, this is what's coming next. The deception, the mass deception, because they want to deceive as many people as possible. And I really firmly believe they are going to use Project Bluebeam as a way to deceive everybody.
I had a friend that sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures, and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
And that video clip was from Perry Stone, who is a well-known evangelist, author, and Bible teacher from Tennessee. And he warned in that video that fellow pastors were recently invited to a secret meeting with U.S. intelligence officials to prepare for the release of secret files on aliens. So again, to me, it really seems as if they are setting the stage. And that video was from April 27th when he talked about all of this. And it's just very interesting, the timing of all of this coming out now. And you even had Obama talk about the whole alien thing yet again. And something very strange is he even said that he wanted to be the emissary if aliens ever came. I mean, that's very strange in and of itself. And one has to wonder if there is more to that. Maybe this could be setting the stage for a return of Obama in some capacity to a position of power, or maybe, just maybe, Obama could be the Antichrist?
First contact. I think I would be a good emissary for the plan.
You represent mankind.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a diverse background, some experience in statecraft and diplomacy. I'm friendly.
And even right here, Obama said that the government couldn't hide any of this. They couldn't. And he is downplaying it now after he already talked about it. But honestly, I do believe Obama is probably going to play a role in all of this too, especially the fact that he said he wanted to be an emissary. And it's very interesting how even at the Met Gala 2026, Katy Perry wore this weird costume with 6 fingers. And obviously 6 fingers is associated with the Nephilim. And it's just very interesting because look right here, 2 Samuel 21:20, and there was yet a battle in Goth where there was a man of great stature who had on every hand 6 fingers and on every foot 6 toes, 4 and 20 in number, and he also was born to the giant. So again, it's very interesting how the Met Gala, Katy Perry chose to showcase these 6 fingers with her costume. It's very interesting stuff indeed. And again, it really seems as if the stage is being set for this mass deception.
And I don't want to be too prophetic or say by a certain date something's going to come out because there's a lot of causal factors. But I do have confidence that it's going to escalate in the next 60 to 90 days. And I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. I certainly know what Congress is doing, and I won't reveal that here, but I do see a lot of pressure to get the substantive empirical holdings that I've talked about, not videos or anything like that, out in the ether. And, I'm hoping that's the case.
And that clip right there was from David Grush talking about how he believes that in the next 60 to 90 days, all of this stuff is going to escalate. Again, he's telling you without telling you what's to come. And he also addressed whether aliens, UAPs, or UFOs, whatever you want to call them, are demons. And he named J.D. Vance and Tucker Carlson, saying you're seeing a lot of that talk about demons and other things like that. You know, the Vice President Vance has mentioned that. And his friend Tucker Carlson has also said that too. And I've had private conversations with him about that. And then Grush also went on record to say to equate everything to demons, noting that God has created this wonderful, visible and invisible order. He's created humans, animals, angels, and other types of non-human intelligence. And God is the creator. He is. He is the ultimate creator, but people need not to be deceived by this stuff with aliens because, again, aliens are demons. And you even had Kash Patel recently go on record talking about the whole thing regarding the UFO files.
Have you watched Age of Disclosure?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you're busy. You have a full-time job. I'm more and more convinced that probably, and my faith tells me, we have universes within universes. There's no limit to God's imagination. So the idea that there would be life on other planets that may be visited here would not at all shock or surprise me. Have you ever looked into it?
We're looking at it. Here's the thing. Again,
okay, I want all the details.
Here's the thing. Every other president before President Trump could have said, hey, let's look at that and get the American people the information. What did he do? He stood up an interagency process with Department of War leading that effort to get out the documentation related to everything that you're talking about, not just from the FBI, from the IC, and everywhere else. And so what do? We already delivered our first tranche of information to that committee, and they're going to be publicly releasing this information very soon. We are all for it. There's nothing in this subject that we're talking about that we don't want released. Our job at the FBI is to work with the White House and DOW, give them the information, and then they're going to put that out in a methodical process. And you're going to start seeing those releases literally happening in the very near future. We just met on it.
Do you think we've ever recovered alien forms?
I don't have any information on
You've
that
never-
specific.
So, you know, Donald Trump is kind of verbose. He talks a lot.
I'm going to let you tell him that.
Oh, I tell him anything I want. I have no hesitation. But he clams up on this issue, and I don't know why. Because I've never been interested in it. I'm like, I want you to get interested in it.
Well, it's just another example of President Trump listens to what the American public has an interest in.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a job that's 1 billion times more busy than mine. You know, I'm just focused on law enforcement, national security, and crushing violent crime.
Yeah.
He's got to do 1 million different things at once, and he still has the time to say, stand up an organization. The American public wants the documents. We've already delivered the documents. They're coming out.
So again, this is the age of deception that you are watching. This is a mass deception. This is why you have so many different people coming out and talking about the alien stuff. And again, there is proof that aliens are demons because Aleister Crowley, Liam looks almost identical to all of the depictions of aliens, the Greys. I mean, if people can't see what is going on here and how this is a massive deception, I truly don't know what more I can say. This is all tying into their coming Project Bluebeam, in my honest opinion. And it's no coincidence that there is a movie releasing called Disclosure Day. It's no coincidence that the movie posters are using the one eye symbolism. It is no coincidence. None of this is a coincidence. The Hantavirus, this stuff with the aliens, all of this stuff seems like it is tying in to each other. And it seems like they really want the stage set for a massive deception, a massive event. And I can only imagine what else they have in store. But at the end of the day, I am trusting in God Almighty. I am trusting in Jesus Christ. As always, please comment, like, and share this video wherever.